Messina and Renault Kuppens for boots and V. Exactly so, but the first three, they're pushing as hard as they possibly can. Opened up a little bit of a gap. Paul Levette in front, but look behind. One little mistake and you lose 2, 3, 4 positions. Turn 16 now, track limits. We'll talk about this through the course. The fans looking down. They can see which drivers go out beyond the white line to mark the edge of the circuit. And down in the middle pack, popping and banging, so much noise in full racing speed for the second time the first few corners, but run deep. We're just seeing Stefan Racina, car number 11, running a little bit deep into turn 1, then turn 2 is a problem. But if you're doing that to make sure you're in front of another car, that's what you have to do. It's so busy down at turn 1. Right, first few positions, Paul Levette in front by 3/4 of a second at the end of the opening lap. Enzo Guaracci wasted that pole position, but he's now settling down. He's starting to get onto the tail of the race leader. Actually slightly faster. Amaury Bonduelle, he's started 4th, moved ahead of Stati into 3rd. In fact, Stati fell down from 3rd to 5th because Giacomo Pedrini moved up from 6th position. So some people gaining, others losing out a little bit. Riding on board there with Frederick Schandorf. You normally find him at the front end of the field, but he's running in a Pro-Am class car, so that's qualified a little of the long way back. But a few teams just didn't get things right in qualifying. So we have some people who are going to be coming up from where they wouldn't normally be. Right, let's take a look. Stefan Racina there, look at him. He's all over the tail of Stefan Tribudini. Two of the most experienced Lamborghini racers together. Not at the sharp end of the field, though. A little bit further back. Now on this lap, just want to see if Giacomo Pedrini in 4th place can start to catch Amaury Bonduelle, who's in 3rd. He's only 0.3 of a second down on Enzo Guaracci in 2nd. Here is our race leader, though, Paul Levette. White, yellow and blue car, white car with the yellow and blue flashes of Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Paul Levette starting to struggle. Guaracci showing the speed now that gave him pole position. He's made the mistake. He's making up for it. But Baptiste, this is a really difficult track to make an overtaking manoeuvre, particularly between the front drivers.
Yeah, indeed. There is not that much corners where we can attack a driver. The goal always is to put pressure on the car in front of you, to try and hope that the driver in front will do a little mistake, and at that moment you can of course take the advantage on it.
Yeah, he can end very, very quickly. One mistake. Tell you what, let's go down to the pits because Dakota is moving at great speed. Who have you got, Dakota?
I have got Adam Patera in car number 6, teammate of Paul Levette. Paul had a really, really good start. I mean, you jumped ahead of Enzo. Do you think that he just caught him out sleeping, or do you think Enzo's starting to get tired now from his double duties of obviously racing in America and also in Europe?
I think in this track it's really tricky to warm the tires, and I think Enzo just misjudged his braking point a little bit, and Paul took full advantage of that. So now we're in the lead, and yeah, hopefully he stays his wheel to the end of the race.
Look, Enzo's your biggest competitor this weekend. It looks like he's catching up a little bit, and Paul could possibly be struggling, but you're all kind of in the same boat here with the tires and obviously struggling with how cold it is. So does strategy play a very good part, right? Is your strategy going to be different, or are you going to follow the Oregon, whatever their choice is?
I think for now, if we are in the lead, they will follow whatever we do for the strategy, but I think we have pretty good race pace, so yeah, I think we'll be okay.
I think judging by, you're going to be okay as well. Judging by Paul, he doesn't really let people pass easily. So good luck, Adam. Let's watch on and see what Paul can do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dakota. With Adam Putera, Malaysian race has made a massive impact in his debut season in the European Championship. And in fact, he and his teammate Paul won both of the 2 races last time out. That was Barcelona. So it's not like they're in front and don't know what to do. They are in front. They do know what to do. It's very, very close, though. 0.2 of a second is the gap between first to second, and only 0.3 further behind in 3rd place is Amaury Bonduelle, and Amaury has been there and seen it and done it. Now he's taking a look. Now, a little bit of a mistake there from Enzo Guaracci. That was down into turn 8. What did he do wrong?
For me, or he misjudged.
That's more of a mistake.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. So, or he missed just the braking point, which is, I would not say normal, but it can happen, of course. Or he just had less tire pressure, so less efficiency as well. He misjudged a bit, and then, yeah, little mistakes can happen.
And at that point, of course, Battisti had Amaury Bonduelle right in behind, so he could have made it up to second. Now, this is one of the two cars involved in that clash. One was Claude-Yves Gosselin, the other was Philippe Tang. And so that will be frustrating, but with such a packed field of cars, 36 cars coming out to play, and unfortunately they didn't play too nicely together, so steaming away there. That I presume the radiator getting a little bit of damage perhaps. But right, let's put the eyes back on the lead of the race. Paul Levette, Enzo Guarracci, almost can't see Amaury Bonduelle. They are so close, first, second and third. This is possibly a chance for Giacomo Pedrini in fourth place to start closing in. He's 1.2 seconds further back, and if this lot trip each other up, but what it seems is Paul Levette has now Levette's waited long enough and he's got the heat in his tyres. He's now looking a bit more comfortable and lead the race. Or maybe that's just because Enzo made the mistake last time to let the gap come out. But now Enzo Guarracci in second place in car number 36 has got to watch his mirrors because he's got Amaury Bonduelle. There he is, car 57, right with him.
Yeah, I think the car 36 has now to defend a little bit from Amaury Bonduelle, which knows perfectly, I think, what he's doing. Yeah, and with that effect, then the car number 6 can pull out away.
Right, I did say before the start of the race that Benedetto Strignano had fallen a long way down the qualifying order. Was he in 20th position, something like that? But he's already up to 13th, already set the fastest lap of the race. And actually, that's sometimes quite difficult when you're in traffic. But he's now got a little bit of clear track, and then he'll go after Stefan Racina. So we'll keep an eye on that. Up front, though, there is nothing between the top few positions. And now we're just starting to get some news up that 33 had a puncture. That's Milos Pavlovic's car, sharing with Alessio Rivera. That's from Autosport Racing. So again, you can pick up a puncture in many ways. One of the best ways to pick up a puncture is to keep running over the curbing on the outside, because there could be some debris. This lot, the first 3 cars, pretty neat and tidy. And there, unfortunately, is a car that tells a tale. That is the flank of Claude-Yves Gosselin's car. And bear in mind, he had contact. And it looks as though when it's your door that's damaged, that you're not normally the guilty party. I'm just saying. For Claude-Yves, he's been racing for a long time. Very, very safe pair of hands. But unfortunately for him, his first of 2 races, or potentially 4 races taking in the World Final, is over and out for the number 4 crew. Right, going down through the classes, don't have to go too far. 5th place overall, Luca Segu. He qualified very nicely. He is leading the Pro-Am class. Luca running in car number 72, which is DL Racing. So one of their cars was damaged. We saw that in the pits, but he's going very nicely. Second in class is Georgi Dimitrov. Third in class is Stefan Racina, respectively 5th, 7th and 12th position overall. Car leading the AM class is Pietro Perellini, 9th overall, car 61. And there, unfortunately, is a car, Renault Coppens, who was right down towards the end of the grid, but he hasn't got enough wheels for the eagle-eyed among you. So don't know what that caused that to come off, whether the bodywork damage is because the wheel was coming off of its own accord, or was the contact. I think we might know the answer to that very soon indeed. Well, there was a push and a shove, and it's unusual to see that coming off the hub like that, but the good news, at least if you can find any good news for Renault, he managed to park the car away from the edge of the circuit. The Belgian racer will be very frustrated, because you'd hardly suggest he did anything wrong. Right, first, second, third and fourth still in the order. Levette, Guarracci, Bonduelle and Pedrini. And a few people looking at the replays there and looking to see what they can do, but with 36 cars coming out on this circuit, there was always going to be incident. At the moment, though, it hasn't affected the front-running drivers. Bit by bit, Enzo Guarracci, it's a bit of debris on the circuit early in the lap there. That was about between turns 4 and 5. Sorry, between turns 5 and 6. Just starting to feel Paul Levette is making a getaway now, making a break, and that is because Bonduelle in third is all over the tail of Enzo Guarracci. Both a lot of experience in these cars, but particularly Bonduelle. Then a fabulous battle for second place. Pedrini ahead of Segu, and Segu leading the Pro-Am class in 5th, so he's having a good run. Nick Stati down in 6th, not having any answers to the questions as yet, the young Australian. Well, it's not quiet on the track, and it's not quiet in the pits, because Dakota, you've got Joseph Knopp.
Joseph, Enzo's running really well at the moment. He lost a little bit at the start there. What do you think happened at the start?
I don't know actually, but elbows out game is on. Just the beginning of the race, so don't worry.
Now, if you were in the car and not Enzo, and you're gaining on Paul a little bit, you know Paul's a strong player, but where would you overtake Paul on this kind of a track?
Somewhere where he doesn't know it.
Somewhere is a good start. I mean, it's not a great start. What about in the pit lane? Is that a good idea?
Sure.
In the pit lane.
Nervous, but we'll see.
Okay, he's not giving away very much. That's Joseph Knopp. Obviously, Enzo's in the car right now. Let's see what he can do.
Thanks, Dakota. I think what we've gathered from that, he's going to be trying at turn 17. There are only 16 turns on the circuit. Who knows? But anyhow, being inscrutable there. Quite a few drivers now beginning to get track limit violations. You only have to notice not when they're first or second or third, but we did have a driver in a previous race who got to 11, and that led to many, many time penalties, and eventually the car pulled out of the race. But the front runners behaving very nicely at the moment. And Enzo Guaracci in that second place is starting to fall away. In fact, the gap is now 1.1 seconds to Paul Levet, who's going faster and faster in the race. Another driver who's starting to match the race leader's pace is back in fourth place overall, and he's catching the first three. It's driver of car number 9, and that is Giacomo Pedrini for Target Racing. So he's just off the back. This is second, car 36, that's Enzo Guaracci. Already competed today in the North American Championship, so he's got extra track experience. Did make that little mistake and clonked the inside curbing going to turn 1. At that point, the move was on for Paul Levet around that side. Here's Levet around the outside again. That's the outside of track limits at turn 15 into turn 16. They're a bit neater and tidier here coming onto the start-finish straight. So here we are. This is the penultimate race at the final round of the 2025 Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe. And the driver who came here third on points, but his teammate is second on points. That's Paul Levet, and his teammate is Adam Putera. They are ahead of the Guaracci and Knopp combination, with Guaracci driving. And at the moment, they'll claw back 3 points of the point difference. And you know what the point difference is at the moment? It's only 3 points. So that will put them equal in the championship with 16 points to play for tomorrow. 1 for pole position in class and 15 points for a win. But if they go in even, well, the title race is between basically Enzo Guaracci and Joseph Knopp, that's his teammate, and then Adam Putera. We just had an interview with Adam in the pit lane, but unfortunately for Paul Levet, that's Adam's teammate who's leading this race. He missed a round, and that's why he's down in third in the championship. It's really boiling down to a battle that could be absolutely level and square going into the final race tomorrow. Friday race, this is Thursday racing, hard to get your head round, but of course this is Thursday and Friday racing for the Super Trofeo, and then the Super Trofeo World Finals, they take control of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday here at Misano. A back marker just trying to keep out of the way there, that's Serge Doms doing a decent job, but the good thing in there, he hasn't really interrupted the front runners. There they are, still in the same position, still pretty much with the same gap. 1.1 second, 1 second, fantastic drone shot there, looking down on the cars beneath. That's turn 8, that's the infield broad hairpin, then they have a little kink to the right at 9, and then they go into the second hairpin at turn 10 to get them onto the back straight. Enzo Guaracci suddenly beginning to fight back. He took 0.2 of a second out of the race leader last time around. Traffic is starting to play its hand, but at this point, one of the DL racing drivers just trying to keep out of the way. And sometimes, Baptiste, it's on a circuit where you get a load of twisty corners together, it's quite difficult for a back marker to stay out of the way. Sometimes you get lucky when you're coming past. Sometimes, well, it's bad luck.
Of course, we can always be helped by the high beam. I'm also using them a lot when I'm racing, to be honest. It's a good help that we have to flash them and then to give them the alert that, of course, we want to overtake them as soon as possible. Yeah, it's always tricky to pass an overlapped car.
And how much do the drivers, do you as a driver get told in the driver briefing from the stewards about?
So it always depends of the championship. I'm normally racing in the GT World Challenge series, and in that series we can flash only 3 times in between each corners.
Okay, but of course when you have in the GT World Challenge, all the cars have balanced performance. They should be fairly equal. But if you're, say, competing in the World Endurance Championship, you've got the hypercars and you've got the GT3. It's the job of the hypercar driver to find the line, isn't it?
Of course. The fastest car always has to move his own line to overtake.
Seems fair. Absolutely so. But then when you're racing in this, you will have drivers in identical cars, but someone might be in the Lamborghini Cup, you might be Pro or Pro-Am, so you'll be coming through. But some circuits, when the corners are very close together, it's very difficult to be out of the way all the time. But anyhow, it's the same for everyone.
Yep.
All right, the Australian flag on the flank of the car in 6th place means Nick Stati, car number 70, very, very new to Super Trofeo racing. He put it on pole for the Asian Series race. Showing great talent. He's getting onto the back of this little pack, the battle for 4th place. 4th is Giacomo Pedrini. Top car in Pro-Am, Luca Segu, that's car number 72, is in 5th, and Nick Stati on the back of that car, number 70. Great little battle, and then immediately behind him he's got Georgi Dimitrov, British racer, who's running 2nd in Pro-Am. So what we're seeing in this race, we're leading towards when the pit window opens. Actually, let's talk about the pit stops. The pit stop time from leaving the track, from pit in to pit out, plus the stop, 105 seconds. We see in every race, someone tries to do it in 104 seconds, they get a penalty. That just ruins your race, because you have to come in, serve. If you're over by 1 second, you have to stop for a second and go back out. So the second pit stop, disaster.
Yeah, it's always a matter of being really performant on the pit stop. If you go too fast, then you get penalized, so it's not that good at the end. And of course, if you take too much time, also you penalize yourself. So you have to be really precise in a way to maybe overtake someone at that moment in the pit stops.
Yeah, and as we said at the start of the race, before the start of the race, it's when you take your pit stop. You do not. This race has got 36 cars. We've maybe lost 2 or 3, but it's still going to be busy. But you have to look at the neighbouring garage and say, are you coming in? You know, just be sure you don't want them on the same lap. But basically, whenever Paul Levey comes in, you feel Enzo Garacci, Amaury Bonduelle should come in maybe at the same time. Certainly Garacci, because you have to cover the move, because also they're championship rivals, you know.
Yep, I think it will be a good option for the following car behind the 6th car to pit as well as soon as the 6th car will enter, of course. A bit of copy-paste from what they will do, of course.
Right, at the moment, we're heading towards the pit window opening, and leading by 9/10 of a second, Paul Levey from Enzo Garacci. In the Pro-Am class, in 5th place overall, Luca Segu's leading that by about 1.5 seconds from Georgi Dimitrov. In the AM class, Pietro Perolini, 10th overall, is leading that by 2.5 seconds from Stefan Trebudini. And we just had the graphic showing that Karim Auger, 21st overall, is leading the Lamborghini Cup class. He also clinched the title by taking the point for pole position. And he's got a driver we heard from down on the grid, Kevin Tse, 2nd in the Lamborghini Cup class. No driver penalty times as yet. However, a lot of drivers starting to add their total of track limit violations, and it's not according to the driver, it's according to the car. So you could have a second driver getting in, they do one little mistake and it's added to the mistakes of their teammate, and then the penalty will come. So all the blame given to the car, but the real blame given to the drivers who keep exceeding track limits. But so far, everyone still below the number of which you get before you're served with a warning flag for track limit abuse. Really at the front of the race, the story of the last few laps is Enzo Garacci is now starting to catch Paul Levey. Garacci is the joint championship leader with his teammate Joseph Knopp. Joseph will be in the pit lane waiting to take over. Adam Putera will take over from Paul Levey. Paul, by missing around, hasn't scored as many points. He cannot win the championship, but his teammate, the Malaysian Adam Putera, most certainly can. And if they finish the race in the order they are now, they will be equal on points. That will be Enzo Garacci and Joseph Knopp. They will take the points for second place. They'll move on to 106 points. sorry, I beg your pardon, 109 points, which would be exactly the same score as Adam Patera have in this car. Car number 6, VSR, Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Pit window is now open, but the front runners, while they've got clear track, and they do, they're going to use it. Use as much of it as they can. They could have pitted early, but then come out in behind drivers who haven't pitted, and that could delay them. It's a risk. Some people have already decided to come in. Nick Stati has come in as one of the front runners, coming in from 6th place overall, and Nick's sharing with Brendan Leach, and Brendan is an absolute expert in Super Trofeo Lamborghinis. He races it in all the continents. He's one of the drivers you want to get in as soon as possible. And also, Nick has already done a race today, and he did that one solo, so he's done 50 minutes racing, and 2 50-minute races in fairly short order. Well, that would be quite an ask, but there, out of the car is Nick Stati, into the car goes Brendan Leach. Aussie out, Kiwi in. I don't know if you caught that, Baptiste. Get yourself out of here, get out of the way. So that's again the experience, because at this point Brendan's just doing his final checks. He knows all the belts are right, and he just doesn't want any mistakes during the pit stop.
Yeah, it's always important to tight yourself. At least you know if it's well done or not, and if you need to recover something by yourself. We saw here Stefan Tribodini pushing at the maximum to grab some seconds or at least some tenths on Pietro Perolini. They are fighting together.
Yeah, there's about 3 seconds between them. You can see Perolini coming in the bottom of the picture, and in the background, yeah, using all that experience, Stefan Tribodini. Unusual to see a driver with an open face helmet. I know it's a sort of half open face helmet, but I could certainly understand that in very hot weather, but maybe he's just more comfortable with it.
Yeah, I know him quite well. We were teammates 2 years ago, and yeah, since he started his career, he's always using that kind of helmet. It's all about being comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Stefan Russina, middle of picture. Oh, right across the nose. That's car 11th, 10th place. Stefan Tribodini, we saw him on board. Now we're seeing him from outside, VSR car. Sort of thought he had half a chance there, but he's being kept very busy indeed. He's got Rosario Messina tucked in behind him as well. Oh dear, suddenly traffic is not good. And the number 10 car not in their battle. It's one who's probably just already served a pit stop, Guido Lucchetti's car. But Stefan Russina winning that little battle for now, but a lot of these cars are going to be diving for the pits. Well, I tell you what, the gap between first and second down to 0.399 of a second. I said the last few laps, Enzo Guaracci's been getting a little bit closer still, because he managed to get rid of Amaury Bonduelle. Remember, there was that mistake down at turn 8 a while ago, and Guaracci's taken a while to fight back. He'll be quite sad he has to hand over. Actually, when a driver's got a half-open face, you can really see their facial expression much more. Otherwise, you just see the eyes, the level of concentration.
Yeah, we can see what he does with his mouth. It's quite funny to see, of course.
Right, this is Oregon team, but don't worry, it is not Enzo Guaracci from second place. It's Adalberto Battista, who's one of the drivers who drives solo. And if you're driving solo, your pit stop has to be 3 seconds longer. You might go, that's a disadvantage, except when your driver goes back out, he knows exactly what the state of the circuit is. He knows exactly, pretty much, the state of his tyres. Of course, when he's sitting here, they'll be losing a bit of temperature. So it is an advantage. It's only a 50-minute race. So yes, that's physical, but it's definitely possible. And a lot of the drivers, particularly in Lamborghini Cup, tend to run solo. Busy wherever you look on the circuit. Certainly 4.26 kilometers gets very, very busy indeed, with as many drivers as we have here. In fact, I beg your pardon, 4.226 kilometers, marginally shorter, but first to second to third, closer. Levey, Guaracci, Bonduelle. At the start of the lap, it was 0.95 of a second. You can see the last few laps have been very good until lap 15. Only a thousandth of a second gained by Enzo Guaracci on race leader Paul Levey, but that's always the way. You get close and suddenly it gets much harder. You get affected by the dirty air off the back of the car. Levey using all the curbing a little bit more. Got to watch that. Track limit warnings will be coming soon. The light is really softening It's only mid-afternoon here. It's only just gone 3:30, but you can tell it's November. The sun's going down. The light is changing. Order isn't changing, though. It's still Paul Levey. His lead, 0.5 of a second. Few cars leaving the pit lane. It's a very, very long, slow, twisting pit exit. As I say, the pit stop into out time is 105 seconds. So they're not losing any time. Everyone has to do this run through the pit lanes. It's when you have to do it a second time because you've got a drive-through penalty or a stop-and-go penalty that it really hurts. And here we are. Fantastic drone shot. This is the exit of turn 3. You wouldn't want to be coming out at the end of the opening lap there, but you wouldn't, would you? As the field comes piling in there. 2, 3 abreast. But this is great racing at the front. But Paul Levey just showing how much he's learnt in his young racing career, soaking up all the pressure from behind. 21-year-old Frenchman. Second season of racing Lamborghinis, but very much his first serious one. This is dropping out of a Pro-Am, not dropping out. This is Stefan Rusina just coming in for a pit stop. Bronislav Formaniek will take that over. Mikoniec Motorsport car. But again, it looks as though the pit stop's slow, but it's timed that way, so people won't be making mistakes, not feeling they have to rush the whole time. Car 90 under investigation for overtaking 14 under yellow flags. The driver of car 90 could be embarrassed, and out of third position comes Bonduel. He's had enough stuck behind the first 2 cars. By the way, driver of car 90 is Holger Hampson, running solo in Lamborghini Cup, German racer for GT3 Poland. Only under investigation. And the car he was said to have passed under yellow was car 14, which is Adalberto Batista, the Brazilian driver. We already saw his car in the pits. Right, a few more cars. This is the one from third position. And that should be Amaury Bonduel. Yep, the colours of Belgium on his helmet there. Yellow, red and black. He's getting out, and Italian racer Andrea Fontana climbing on board. Started fourth, got the jump on Nick Stati, who fell a little bit backwards through the first few corners and ran third thereafter. Could do nothing about Enzo Guaracci in second place, though. So Andrea just being given every help he can. Little shake of the hands. He doesn't tell his driver to get out of his way, just says, right, I'm in here now. Check the door is fully closed. Every little thing you can do to make things right or stop things from going wrong, maybe that's the way to say it. You do. Sometimes they're just traditions. Right, first to second. Still sitting pretty much half a second between Paul Levey. He'll be handing over to Adam Putera, Frenchman to Malaysian. And Enzo Guaracci will be handing over to Joseph Norp, showing how cosmopolitan this is. In dives one, in dives the other. It was always going to be this way. Now, if we see the pink, yellow and green car coming out ahead, something would have gone wrong for the first car, or his car, now in the hands of Joseph Norp, would have made a mistake because that would be coming out too soon. So expect them to come out together. There's a big question. Will there be traffic on the track when they come out? I think there will be.
That will be interesting to see.
It really will. Right, here we are. It seems the vast majority coming in this lap. So, in fact, if you're at the front of this queue, there shouldn't be too much traffic when you come out. But just remember that Amaury Bonduel already came in the lap before. So his teammate will be going out. He's out onto the track now. Andrea Fontana. Lowering sun. Still a lovely, lovely, comfortable autumn day. Air temperature has been 14 degrees all day long, and maybe the thermometer stopped working. But Paul Levey, there he is. He's out. He's done a great job. Took the lead at the start from second position on the grid. That was the outside line. Didn't need it. There's a little mistake from Enzo Guaracci. Hit the curb on the inside. Couldn't turn in. Went wide, and Paul Levey ducked in behind and took the lead from him. Oregon team so long a feature in the championships, leading at the moment, but will they come out equal on points ahead of tomorrow's final race, or will they come out still in front? The next half lap is going to be absolutely critical. And really, it's the question, has Adam Putera come out in front? I think he has. This is the other cars from Oregon team, just to confuse issues. That's Pietro Perolini, who will be handing his car, would have handed his car over to Massimo Giglia, and that's a good one to have. Right, time penalty, 10-second penalty, overtaking under yellow, car number 90, Holger Hampson. Well, his co-driver can't blame him because he doesn't have a co-driver. Driving solo, but that will certainly really affect his chances. Overtaking under yellow flag, always an offence. Right, so as we rattle through those final few pit stops, it seems Adam Putera will be in the lead of the race unless Andrea Fontana comes through. No, Joseph Knopp comes into second place, Anne-Marie Bonduelle third. Right, Brendan Leach, he was one of the first drivers to have a change to him. I suggested to be picking up the pace, moving up the order, and he's certainly doing that. The Kiwi, car number 70. Lipert Motorsport showing with Australian Nick Stati. Nick was one of the first ones in. He'd already done a race today, but it was more to the point. You want to hand over the driver who's going to be faster of the pairing in the car. He's done that to Brendan Leach. New fastest lap, Adam Putera. He's only just got on board the VSR Lamborghini. That's car number 6, top of our shot. The white race and blue and yellow flashes. So that is very impressive to get into the car, get a feel for the tyres, and immediately go for it. He's got 3 cars up ahead of him, but they're not ahead of him in the race. Adam Putera, car number 6, leads the way. 1.5 seconds over Joseph Knopp. So he gained a second after taking over the car. Remember, Garacci handed over to Knopp and LeVay to Putera. 1.5 seconds and 1.1 seconds back to Andrea Fontana in third place overall. Took over from Anne-Marie Bonduelle. So no change in the top 3 positions. But the big change has been car number 70 moving up to 4th place overall. Before the pit stops, it was 6th. That was driven by Nick Stati. It's now driven by Brendan Leach. And Brendan will close in a bit more on this lap until Andrea Fontana gets up to speed. Traffic could delay not just the front runners, it could be those who are giving chase. And right now, Adam Putera just being a little bit cautious, just choosing his moment, doesn't want to go past a driver who he doesn't think has seen him. He only just scraped across the nose there as he worked his way past, but he did get past. And I sense a few more passing manoeuvres, then Adam will have fairly clear track. But always with traffic, it's the question, does it affect me the most, or would it be those who are chasing me? And sometimes it's those who are chasing who get a little bit more interrupted. But right there, the gold car, number 77, that's Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, right across the nose. And it was car 56 that went for a spin. That was the one with a pair of American racers on board. That's Jeff Courtney, and he's handed it over to Fred Roberts, actually the Canadian. I tell you what, it's been exciting on the track, it's exciting in the pits. Let's hear from Enzo Garacci, who came in from 2nd.
Now, Enzo wasn't very happy with me as I pulled him away from the TV screen because he really was into this battle and wanted to watch his teammate Joseph Knopp. Joseph is starting to catch, but it looks like Adam's still got the upper hand. Do you think he'll be able to catch him?
Yeah, I think he has the pace. During the whole week he had a mega pace, so now he just needs to trust in himself, and I think it will do it.
Good luck. I'll let you get back to watching so you don't make me too angry. That was Enzo Garacci in 2nd place.
Well, you did him a favour there because Joseph fell from 2nd to 3rd, and now Brendan Leach has moved past him to 4th. So by the time Enzo gets back on the pit wall, the day has changed. Now, what else changed out on the circuit? Having a little bit of contact. Car number 12 getting super close, rubbing the tail off number 3. And 12 is Artline car, Igor Oretsev on board, last year's world champion, and this time going around. That's not something you see often. I think he simply got a little too close to the tail of Fred Shandov's car. 2 top drivers finding themselves a little bit down the order there. And then spinning behind. Well, that's where it all happened. And for the others, managing to avoid at turn 14, which is actually quite a difficult thing to do if a car's spinning in front of you. So for Fred Roberts, that's going to be very, very frustrating indeed. Now, it seems plenty of action on the track, plenty on the pit walls. Some crews calm and some feeling quite exercised by it all. But let's focus our mind on what's happened. As soon as he took over, Adam Putera really flying, set fastest lap of the race. But in the last couple of laps, Andrea Fontana, who took over from Anne-Marie Bonduelle as 41, is pushed into the pit lane. That's Christian Bortolato, another of the solo drivers. Andrea Fontana is now catching the race leader. It's down. It was 1.5 seconds. It's down to a second. Brendan Leach is catching the pair of them. He's in third. Top 3 cars covered by 1.7 seconds. So now this is the point at which Adam Patera has got to really show that ability to survive under pressure. If he wins, because of the recent deposal of Enzo Guarasci, he'll move 2 points clear, not even level at the end of the race. He'll move into the championship lead going to tomorrow's final round. Can Adam Patera, the young Malaysian, resist the pressure? Can he do it? Well, I tell you what, they won both of the races last time out, Paul Levey and Adam Patera at Barcelona. If they do it again, it will put Patera at least into the lead of the championship. Paul missed a round, and so that's why they don't have the same score at the moment, but they've proved they can be a winning combination. But right now, Brendan Leach has now moved ahead of Andrea Fontana. So he was 4th, then he's 3rd. Now Brendan Leach is into 2nd place. And watching on from the sidelines, you can be sure that Nick Stati, the Australian 17-year-old, will be thinking, hey, this could be my first win in any round of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo in only his 4th race. 3 in the Asian Series so far, and this is his first one in the European Championship. And we've been plenty happening out on the circuit. And car number 44, I've just been told by Dakota, has come into the pit lane and the driver's hopped out. So that would probably be Kalle Bergman, one of the championship challengers early on, but it hasn't been their meeting, sharing with Mans Tallinn. Mans way down the order at the time. Right, looking at those Pro-Am, it's only half a second between Diego Locanto and Stefan Guerin and Fred Schandorf. Well, he's 16 seconds down, but he's got the pace, even in the remaining 12 and a bit minutes, to start closing in on them. But that's a super close battle, which is just how we like it. And there's Locanto, car number 72. Was that Guerin going past? Let's have a look. It's another car tucked in behind. Right, the story potentially at the moment. Ooh, a little bit of front-end damage on car number 72, which is Diego Locanto's car. I saw something, I think, flapping off his right front corner. Or was it the chasing car that's got something flapping? It might have fallen off by now. Right, Brendan Leach has gained and gained and gained. His car started by teammate Stati, but from 3rd, fell down the order to about 6th. Well, it was 6th, but now he's moved up from 5th to 4th to 3rd to 2nd, heading off after the race leader. Last time around, he gained 0.2 of a second. And I think the question is where the traffic is going to fall. Down to turn 14 now, the tight right-hander. Still Adam Patera leading the race. 2nd place, Brendan Leach, looks way closer than the 1.5 seconds he was in deficit at the start of this lap. Plenty of great battles further back as well. One driver we saw quite a lot of during the opening part of the race in his open face helmet was Stefan Trebudini, and Dakota has him right now.
With a setting sun in our face, Stefan, fresh out the car, you looked really, really hot, but it's actually quite cold now. How was that for you?
It was really, really tough, really a hard stint because of something never happened to me before. I have a foam on my shoulder, would go on the floor, on the pedals, all the stint, since the beginning of the stint. Sometimes I was on the throttle and the foam was there. I couldn't go full throttle. Sometimes you go on the brake. So half an hour when you don't know if you go on throttle without the foam on the brake. It was crazy. I made some mistakes with that. Hopefully no crash or something, because if the foam goes on the wrong place, it can be really a disaster. I was so upset in the car. I tried to do my best to keep calm, but it was so hard thinking of the foam every time. Just one thing, I don't want to say anything, but I just hope the 61, we are fighting with Peter Peroni and Ceglia, no problem, they are friends. Just hope they don't cut the first corner, because I don't see the video or something. But for me, if we don't cut, it make a very, very impressive start and nothing to say. But I just want to be sure he don't cut the first corner, because for me it's insane. If he goes 16 to 7 or 8 on 4 corner, but if he do it, no problem. Huh?
Don't worry, Stefan, we're going to have them have a look to see if 61 has cut indeed a first corner. So we're going to have a look at that. Don't worry, that's in the hands of us and the race director. Regarding the foam's gone now, though.
Yeah, I took off at the pit stop for Piero, for sure. I took off, I had to find it, but I took off, so now Piero can drive normally. but we lose for sure some time on the 61. So Piero had a very good pace all the week. I hope he can close on Ciglia and make the pressure. And if we can go P1 without any penalty or something, for sure it's a sport I really prefer.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Stefan. Good luck to you. Everyone, to clarify at home, Stefan Trebbiadini and his teammate Piero Randazzo are fighting for the championship with, as he mentioned, Massimo Ciliegi and also Peter. There are a few points. It's only a few points, so this is critical. So let's...
any point counts, so yeah.
Let's watch on. Thank you very much, Stefan. Thank you.
So just to clarify, it was a piece of foam from under the harness, the seatbelt, if you want to call it, that fell under his feet. That must be so frustrating. The gap between them is only 2 points, but if they finish in the order now, Pier Giacomo Randazzo and Stefan Trebbiadini will not be in the lead. They'll be 1 point down their rivals going to tomorrow's finale. It's that close. One little mistake, one small thing falling in the wrong place. And I think Baptiste, for Stefan, the fact that one lap the foam might be there and one lap not, it made it so difficult for him. Have you ever had a problem like that?
Yeah, of course, it's never easy when, as he said, if you go on the throttle, you don't know if you will have the full power of the car, and if you go on the brake, you don't know if you will have the full efficiency. For sure, it can be dangerous when you arrive at the first corner, for example, and you don't have the full efficiency of the brake. You can risk a bit, but yeah, it's all about being a racing driver. You have, and we like to have some risks sometimes, but when it's not necessary, like it's the case now, it's a bit a shame for them, but yeah, that's racing.
This is also racing. Let's go on board. Let's talk us around what Frederick Schandorf is seeing into turn one.
Yeah, opening the line on the left, going really wide on, and then cutting all the corner, taking the advantage of the car on the right to overtake the left one, going wide here as well.
Yeah, that's Guido Lucchetti right in front of him, and then going on around the lap. Now we're going onto the sort of infield straight. Next potential place to pass is turn 8. We're coming towards that. He's not close enough to Lucchetti, though.
No, that's not close enough to attack or even to try something, but maybe that's close enough to try to exit faster than him and then attack on the next corner.
Yeah, just trying to see who's ahead of the car in front of him. That's Schandorf in 9th, Lucchetti in 10th, so it's a back marker. They caught it very easily. You don't want it in the wrong place when you want to get the power down coming out of turn 10, and it's Serge Doms they're going past. He's staying left, but the track will have a little bit of a kink. Oh, 5-second time penalty. Can't have a 13. Still the penalties are coming in, and 13, by the way, is CMR. That's the Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov car. This is so difficult. The corners become tighter and tighter. You go through 11, 12, 13, and there, just waiting to see he's finished the move. He has finished the move over the curb. So that's Schandorf working his way forward. Good move there. Yeah,
that was a good move. He waited the car in front of me, did a little mistake. Maybe he braked a little bit too much with too much steering wheel angle. That's why we saw he had a little oversteering in entry of the corner, so he could take an advantage of it and overtake him.
Okay, we've had overtaking, we've had to change the lead of the race, and we're about to hear from Paul Levey, and his car has just fallen to second place. He's down with Dakota.
A very disappointed Paul Levey. Obviously, you've just lost the lead. You're still smiling though, but that's positive. But you know, that's okay for obviously the race. Championship-wise, it's looking good.
I mean, we are ahead of the 36, so for sure it's looking good for Adam. And the leader that is just that has just get ahead of us is not making any points. So would be still 15 points, would be good. And now I know Adam is pushing very hard. Car is quite difficult to handle with the old tires, so he's doing a mega job as always.
When you say the car is quite difficult to handle, is that just tires, or is that just the way you've set it up? Do you think you can change anything for tomorrow that will make your tires last a bit longer?
We can always make the story again. I mean, we had a very good car, otherwise I wouldn't have been in the lead for the first stint for sure, so the car was very good. For sure with tire degradation, it's a lot more tire management into the apexes of the corner, so yeah, it's another driving style I would say, and Adam has it perfectly, so I don't have any troubles to watch it.
And what do you think about track limits? Obviously here, track limits have been very, very tight, so how important is it to keep your four wheels on the track?
I mean, when you do track limit, you gain 1, 2 tenths, and when you take a penalty, you lose 5 seconds. So you can make the math. It's not worth it. So you need to pay attention for sure.
Let's hope Adam can catch up with the leader, Brendan Leach. So there you go. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dakota. And I tell you what, Dakota, you can tell Paul his car is effectively back in the lead of the race, because Brendan Leach, who's in front by 1.9 seconds, has got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with car 57, which is the Amaury Bonduelle Andrea Fontana car. So we've got under 5 minutes left in the race, only just over 4 minutes in the race, and effectively Adam Putera back into the lead of the race. That will give him the championship lead, along with teammate Paul Levey, because the car they're challenging for the championship is down in 6th place overall, and Joseph Knopp does not have the answers. Enzo Guaracci did a great job, lost the lead at the start of the race, came into the pits from second, though right on the tail of the number 6 car. But right now, Adam Putera, who's been lapping very tightly, he's falling away from Brendan Leach, but he's got enough of a margin not to be pushed too hard by Andrea Fontana's car. He's 1 and a bit seconds clear, but the car in the lead of the race has got a 5-second penalty. Oh, instructions being given about the time penalties at the front of the race. Checking to see if any other drivers are being hit with penalties, but Brendan Leach, who made so much progress, sadly, clearly some contact with car number 57. That's maybe when they changed positions. He worked his way to the front, the Kiwi, but he and teammate Nick Stati will not be taking victory in this race, because even though, actually they might, they're suddenly 3.5 seconds clear. I think that was a bit of traffic for Adam Putera. He got a little bit frustrated, but if he can get that gap to over 5 seconds, he will win this race, even with the 5-second penalty.
Yeah, looking at the speed that Brendan Leach is doing now, I honestly think it will be quite tricky to keep within the 5 seconds, but of course we wish him to be under that 5 seconds.
I can give you now another 5-second penalty. Another one's come on the screen. There it is. Car number 36, championship leaders. 5-second penalty for them for causing a collision as well. Joseph Knopp, the driver, on board at the moment, and anyhow, it was all happening just after the pit stops, I think. So Adam Putera in second place. Can he stay within the 5 seconds and take the win? He will still be moving into the championship lead, even if he doesn't, and even more so now the crew he's challenging, the 36 crew of Enzo Guaracci and Joseph Knopp, get 5 seconds penalty themselves. That will lose them another position, and Benedetto Strignano, who started down, his car started in about 20th position, up to 7th, that will become 6th. So really good run from the very, very promising Strignano. But he has the benefit of running the race solo as well. He was quick at the start, had the 3 seconds extra at his pit stop, but we're almost at the end of the race. So 1 minute and 50 seconds to go, and an average lap for the front runners is 1 minute 36 or so from the very fastest. So we should have this lap and one more lap, because Brendan Leach can't afford to back off enough, but he's 4 seconds clear. Can he get 5 seconds clear? So plenty to see around this lap, and it's a question of what the driver of the number 6 can do. Adam Putera, can he press on and not only take the lead in the championship going into the final race, but extend the margin of advantage over the number 36 crew? So looking to see how it's going to shape up through to the end. Just going down through the classes, Fred Schandorf, car number 3, has moved into the class lead. He shares his ASR, that's Autosport Racing entry, with Andrei Lewandowski there, 12th place overall, sorry, 8th place overall. Igor Oritchev had that rotation. He's worked his way back to 2nd in the Pro-Am class. Diego Locanto further back in 3rd. Massimo Ciglia leading the AM class, much to the dissatisfaction of Stefan Trebudini, because Stefan's car now in the hands of Pier Giacomo Randazzo is down 2nd in Lamborghini Cup class. It's the Privitello father and son team, Donovan Luciano, leading that by a tiny margin, 20 seconds from Karamoje. Adam Putera can't afford to lose any more time getting past back markers, because he needs to keep the margin between him and the race-leading car. This car number 70, with the gold and black livery, Lippert Motorsport, Brendan Leach in the lead, and with 12 seconds remaining, he starts what is going to be the final lap of the race. Waiting to see 4 seconds, it's become 4.6 seconds, and Baptiste, visual maths, you reckon the pace was so much from Brendan Leach, even with the 5-second penalty, he would be able to win the race, and it looks so he's going to do it by that much, 0.1 of a second, 0.2 of a second. He can't afford to back off. He can't afford any traffic. The Kiwi really pushing on. Will Lightfoot Motorsport take victory today, or will Vincenzo Sospiri's gang manage to get to the top or stay at the top? Vincenzo, seeing him on the radio talking to his driver, he's saying, you've got one thing to do, keep pressing. This is what Adam Patera is doing. Up into turn 8 he goes. He cannot let the lead, well, he can let the lead go to more than 5 seconds, but if he does, he will lose victory. Second place on the track will lead to victory as long as he's less than 5 seconds down on the race leading car. He doesn't want traffic. I don't think there is too much traffic between them. Car number 27, that's Stefan Lemeray. Well, he's wise, he'll stay out of the way. Here's the chaser, the white car, number 6, Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Looks like it's all on its own. It's just because the cameras are picking it out. Can he keep the speed? Can he complete all 3 sectors this lap without losing more than 0.2 of a second in each? So Brendan Leach pushing to the edge and beyond. Turn 15 completed. Turn 16 negotiated. Now no car to trouble him. The checkered flag will greet him, but the big question, has 4.6 second margin stretched to over 5 seconds? And if it is, then it should surely be victory for him. But Adam Patera coming out of the final corner, I think he's done it. I think, yeah, 6.3 seconds. So amazing final lap, 35.3, very quick lap for Brendan Leach. And there it is, just waiting for time penalties to apply, but I think he's done enough. And behind Patera, 2.5 seconds further back, Andrea Fontana, third for the number 57 crew from BDR competition. Fourth place, didn't really talk about them so much, but the number 9 crew just kept quiet, worked the way to the front. They've done that so well this season, and that will be points for Fraboni ahead of Silas Lovenripper. Benedetto Strignano got up to 6th place overall, ahead of Joseph Knopp, who came here as championship leader with Enzo Garacci. Their car started on pole position, made a mistake at the first corner, not many thereafter, but unfortunately for them, a penalty has dropped them down the order a little bit as well. Just quickly looking to see anything else happening on that final lap, but running down through the classes, number 3, that's Frederick Schandorf, took victory for ASR with Andrei Lewandowski in the Pro-Am class in 8th place overall. 12th place overall, Massimo Siglia, winning the AM class from Adrian Lewandowski and Sirwin Mazur. And in LC, it was the Privitellios from OJ from Terzo at the end of the race, 8, 7 and 23. But this race belonged really, in terms of changing the championship, to the crew that came home in 2nd place, Adam Patera and Paul Levey. 2nd place for them. In the end, 1.3 seconds down after that time penalty. But that was a great drive from Brendan Leach. And he did have contact with the car that came home 3rd. That's car number 57. Amory Bonduel started. Andrea Fontana brought it home to the finish. There was the contact, 5-second penalty for Brendan Leach for that contact, but the Kiwi flew and got the job done. Crossed the line, 6.3 seconds clear. 5-second penalty, took it down to 1.3. But that final lap, he was 1.7 seconds faster than chasing Adam Patera. And I feel, don't know what you think, Baptiste, but I feel that for Adam, his tyres may have been quite finished at the end of the race, whereas Brendan was able just to squeeze more out of his.
Yeah, probably, but at the end, well done to Brendan Leach to make that lap time at the very end of the race with those tires. Quite impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. And there is the answer. Nick Stati, who started, and Brendan Leach, who finished even with the penalty, finishing 1.3 seconds clear of Paul Levey and Adam Patera. But Patera is now the championship leader. Amory Bonduel, Andrea Fontana, good pairing, coming home in 3rd place. Patrick Fabroni, Giacomo Pedrini in 4th. Sylvan Lovis, Anthony Pretorius, 5th for them. Benedetto Strignano, a charge from the back of the field to 20th to 6th. But for the championship leaders, Enzo Garacci and Joseph Knopp, 7th place with a penalty. That has hurt them in the championship going into the final race of the season. Pro-Am honours in 8th place to Frederick Schandorf. Am honours to Massimo Ciglia and Pietro Perolini in 12th. There they are on the graphic. And 22nd position overall for Luciano and Donovan Privitello. They took victory in the Lamborghini Cup class. So plenty to do. And the driver right behind them in the positions, Karim Oj, clinched the Lamborghini Cup Championship this morning by dint of taking the 1 point available for pole position. He's had a really good, strong season. A few drivers didn't get to the finish. Alas, they'll have another chance tomorrow, and if they're competing in the World Finals, they'll get 2 more chances on Saturday and Sunday. But already, with the light becoming softer here, early November at Misano, very pleasant conditions, but certainly the temperature was falling away. But right now, Brendan Leach out of the car. Nick Stati very happy indeed with that. They pulled it off. I'd love to hear what Brendan thought about the the penalty being given to him for contact, but what he did do, undoubtedly, was put on a massive charge, worked his way up into second place, up into the lead of the race, and nailed it. So the smile is on his face. We'll wait to see what he has to say in the interview, but he had to do some fighting. They had to do some overtaking, Baptiste.
Yeah, with the lap cars, but also the competitors on track directly. So, yeah, well done to them. And at the end, car number 6 bring the most point of the race, because the car number 70 doesn't score any points. So, well done to them as well, of course.
Yeah, tell you what, let's head down to hear the thoughts of our winning crew.
So naughty, they've already stolen the sign. Congratulations, guys. Brendan, nice to see you back in the first place, really. Nick, it's been a great weekend for you so far. How does that feel, being first into Trofeo Europe, your only ever race you've ever done in here?
Yeah, obviously it's so awesome. Can't thank Brendan enough. He did an awesome job all weekend. Learned so much from him. Thank you to the lead park crew, provide us with an awesome car. And yeah, can't thank this guy enough.
Brendan, at what point did you know that you could take the lead over Adam? Did you see him struggling with tyres and thought, like, this is it, this is my opportunity?
Oh, I reckon when we rolled out in quali this morning, we knew we were on for a good day. But yeah, it looked like they were struggling a little bit more than us. The Lipa guys have done an amazing job with the car this weekend. I've never driven a Super Trofeo that's been so fast. So a massive thank you to them. Massive thanks to Nick. Second weekend ever in a touring car, so outstanding performance by him. And just super happy to come home with a trophy and a bit of champagne.
We haven't actually got the trophy yet. Let's go get the trophy. Congratulations, boys.
Oh, Brendan, a driver in demand there, and he had to fight his way up through the order. But he also has so much experience. He understands where the life is with the tyres. And in these cooler conditions, he had plenty to spare at the end when he had to gain an extra 5 seconds having taken the lead of the race. That was a task he did. And he took victory eventually by 1.3 seconds. But let's go and hear from Adam Patera, who came home second, but is now the championship leader.
Adam, obviously not a first for you, but you are the championship leader so far. So, I mean, that must feel great, even though you didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew that Brendan Leach didn't have any points this round, so he passed me, and I was just trying to, keep my position. And yeah, lead of the championship now, going to the last race tomorrow. So yeah, let's hope for the best.
We've obviously lost Paul somewhere, so please tell him congratulations. Here he is. Now, when I interviewed Paul just before you came in second place, he was saying that he's pretty much burned through all the tyres for you, so you had no tyres left at the end. What can you guys do to improve tomorrow in order to make that tyre last a little bit longer to the end of the race?
I guess I have to push less in order to save the tyres for Paul. And yeah, if I pass the car over to Paul, I'm confident that he'll bring the car back in the podium.
Tomorrow's going to be the real battle, right? Is your eyes going to be on Garaci and Knopp?
All the season, our eyes were on car number 6, just working on ourselves and doing our job. And I think, yeah, it's our third podium in a row. P1, P2 is not too bad. Tomorrow it will be a bit more difficult through the field, but we will fight like hell for sure. And yeah, today was a good day, and tomorrow will be a better one for sure.
Absolutely. Congratulations for today, and let's see what tomorrow brings. Thanks, guys.
Adam LeVay and Paul LeVay, a very, very impressive duo. And it is about getting a well-balanced driver lineup, also who learn. And it's about how you use your tyres, also how you work the traffic. And with 36 cars coming out to race, there were clearly going to be cars to be passed. They kept it neat, they kept it tidy, they didn't pick up penalties, and they've taken them a maximum points all, because the car that won counted as a guest entry in the championship because they haven't been going at it all season. And so those were comforting thoughts that the 15 points for victory would go to Paul LeVay and Adam Patera, and so they have, and that has propelled them into the championship lead, and particularly with the car that came here with the combination of Enzo Garaci, Joseph Knopp leading the championship, finishing down with its own penalty in 7th place. That's been a real swing in the championship points. Now this is the feeling at the start of the race. the formation lap, and then tight 18 rows of cars. Not all of them can even see the starting gantry because the first two cars making a charge to the opening corner, and it was Paul Levey who came out in front. A little bit of a mistake over the curbs meant Enzo Guarasci ran wide. First became second, second became first, and Paul Levey into the lead of the race. The pink nose of the Oregon team car tucked in behind. Then some unusual incidents, and poor Renaud Kuppens spun around, missing a wheel. Number 4 also off as well. That was Claude-Yves Gosselin. There was contact further back, but not among the front runners. And there, unfortunately, is a car being retired, Philippe Tang. So, yeah, it's over and out. Certainly smoking away. More contact further on. We saw number 4 bearing the scars of battle. That was Claude-Yves Gosselin, and that was a car that was pushed away into the garage. Up front, though, we continued, and the racing was really rather special. And it was a question of when the first 3 cars would choose to make a pit stop. Would they all come in together? The answer to that was no. The car in third place, Amaury Bonduelle, came in on 1 lap, and the first 2 came in the next time around. How fast could they go when they got back out on fresh, on their rubber? How much rubber was left for the drivers? And certainly the feeling today is if you were a driver who's going solo, you had a bit of an advantage. You knew what the tyres were going to do, and still the contact was coming. Drivers trying to gain positions, not all getting it right. And car number 12 was the guilty party in that point, and that was Igor Orytsev. Unusual to see a mistake, but the Russian World Finals winner last year came through eventually to recover to 10th place overall and second in Pro-Am. But it was Brendan Leach making progress. That was the moment he took the lead of the race, and the number 6 entry of Adam Patera sort of avoided the contact, and Brendan would have to do it again. He got into the lead of the race, kept it, and there was the checkered flag. He had a 5-second time penalty. Could he end up more than 5 seconds clear? Answer, yes. On the final lap, he gained 1.5 seconds. He came through 6.3 seconds clear and took the victory. And there, being welcome him, is Nick Stati. Just remember that name. He's someone it's only his 2nd weekend in the car with a roof, and he's really taken to racing very well indeed in Super Trofeo. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of the 17-year-old Australian. And now the gaggle of talk, happy drivers all heading for the podium. We'll have 4 podiums of all because we have the 4 different classes. And already the podium ceremony beginning. Amaury Bonduelle, Andrea Fontana. And Adam in third place, second place, car number 6. They'll take maximum points, though, because the guest car that won doesn't get any. Adam Patera, Paul Levey. And on to the top step, Nicola Stati and Brendan Leach. Car number 70, up the order, to the front, job done.
Le bandiere e di ascoltare insieme l'inno nazionale tedesco.
So plenty of applause for all the crews. Lippert Motorsports with Brendan Leach and Nicola Stati, top step, second step, Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, Adam Patera and Paul Levey, who kicked off and took the lead at the start of the race. In third place, BDR competition, Amaury Bonduelle and Andrea Fontana. Great to have the mix of teams finishing in the top 3 positions as well. They've got to do it again tomorrow, but it's the crew on the second step of the podium that now one of their drivers, Adam Patera, leads the way overall. Going to race 12 out of 12. 6 rounds, 12 races, each of the Super Trofeo series. And the European series have got 1 more race to come Friday here at Misano. And then, of course, the World Finals. And for a lot of the drivers, they're looking at those almost as much as they are the Super Trofeo trophies themselves.
E ora è il momento di invitarli tutti insieme sul primo gradino. Can you just take place on the main step of the podium all together? Closer to each other, please. Look in front of you for the
So they were tight together on the track. They're tight together. These are the first three crews, or two of the first three crews when they got to the pit stops, but the order was changed. The crew that went missing fell down to 7th overall with the erstwhile championship leading crew from Oregon team, but they will certainly fight back tomorrow. But here we have Nick Stati, Brendan Leach, champagne for them, you can be absolutely sure. And again, they're all building towards the World Finals on Saturday and Sunday. But right now, they've still got to nail down the European, the Asian, and the North American Super Trofeo Series.
Un grande applauso.
So a victory today from Lippert Motorsport. They started third on the grid with Nick Stati, lost a bit of ground in the very, very busy start, but when he got in the hands of Brendan Leach, he fought back. But now, by dint of second place and the points, actually, maximum points haul, because the first car was a guest car, Adam Patera leads into the lead of the championship, 7 points clear, with 16 points to play for going into the final round. His teammate, who missed a round, is down in third position. And between them, Enzo Guaracci and Joseph Knopp, only 7th place today. That really hurt, particularly as they started from pole position. So all change at the front. 3 points clear with Guaracci and Knopp. They're now 7 points in arrears. They're second in the championship, and suddenly Malaysian racer, rising star Adam Patera, well, he's having a fantastic season. And coming out now in Pro-Am should be Dimitri Angelbert, Anthony Nara. And second place, the Artline crew, Igor Orchev and Shota Abkazava. Shota first one onto the podium. There he is, standing close to the middle. Last year's world finalist, winner Igor Orchev. But onto the top step, Frederick Schandorf, car number 3, sharing with Andrei Lewandowski.
Applauso al podio e cominciamo subito con il dottor Maurizio Leschiutta, pronto con i trofei di bronzo per
Now, it's worth pointing out already, we knew the identity of the champions in the Pro class, Giorgio Dimitrov and Stefan Guerin, and they ended up 1, 2, 3, 4th in class today, so just off the podium for them, but they'd already done the hard work.
Trofeo d'oro, la vittoria, tutto per Andrei Lewandowski e Frederick Schandorf.
And it's good to see the smile. The driver on the right-hand side of the top step, Andrei Lewandowski, won his first of several European Lamborghini Super Trofeo Championships, the AM Championship back in 2017. And certainly has been a really staunch supporter. Son Adrian also competes in the championship as well. So good to see him on the top step of another podium. This time sharing with that flying Dane, Frederick Schandorf.
Please, a little bit closer. Can you show the trophies in front of you? Okay. And then you can look downstairs, picking up
and
your
the driver's following all the instructions very, very clearly indeed. Well issued. But there we have top step today, Andrei Lewandowski and Frederick Schandorf. Second place, Igor Orchev and Shota Abkazava. Anthony Nara and Dimitri Angelbert on the right hand of the screen. Third place overall in Pro-Am.
Podio della categoria AM e quindi vediamo subito il pronto intervento del nostro staff per alternare e cambiare le bandiere.
And the number 3 winning crew, Frederick Schandorf, brought it home. Andrei Lewandowski kept it clean in the first part of the race, kept out of trouble, but 50 points clear. Georgi Dimitrov and Stefan Guerin, 4th overall in the race today, but they already had the championship in the bag. And really, it's a question who is going to be finishing second in the championship. Paul Renault-Kuppen started second in the championship today. He's fallen to 4th because he only had 3 wheels on his car at the end. Still haven't worked out how that left wheel was removed at the back, but there was contact, and I don't think Renault was to blame for that.
Numero 5, Adrien Lewandowski. Un applauso ad Adrien Lewandowski che coglie il bronzo di gara.
And now moving on to the AM class, car number 79, the crew of that one was Surin Mazur, all on his own. In fact, he was second overall at the end. Adrian Lewandowski was third at the end, son of Andre. But it's the number 61 crew that get to the top step. And that means it's Oregon teams Massimo Ciglia and Pietro Perolini. They came here 2 points down in the AM Championship. They now lead.
Applauso al podio e il dottor Maurizio Leschiut è pronto con i trofei di bronzo per il trofeo di bronzo per Adrian Lewandowski, Polonia.
So, no doubting the winners of the AM class today are Massimo Ciglia and Pietro Perolini. The people that were leading them in the championship, Pier Giacomo Randazzo and Stefan Trebudini, ended up fourth today, but there's an investigation for an incident under turn 1 for the number 66 crew. And Adrian Lewandowski, who was third on the podium here today, he picked up 2 late 10-second penalties. So we're not sure everything is entirely permanent, but right now it seems Ciglia and Perolini, Oregon team, car 61 on the top step. They'll be taking the 15 points for victory. Certainly got very busy on the final lap.
Okay, you can show your trophies in front of you.
So trophies out, smiles all round, and they have to do it not just once more tomorrow, which is Friday, the final day of the European Championship, but then the World Finals Saturday and Sunday here at Misano. But Massimo Ciglia and Pietro Perolini, Oregon team, on the top step, full of smiles. Now it's champagne time and one more podium to come. And these drivers keeping their suits dry for another day. Car 61, Oregon team, Pietro Perolini, Massimo Ciglia moved to the front, eventually coming home in 12th place overall. And that has moved them into the championship lead ahead of Randazzo and Tribudini, who fell to 4th place today. That's still super close, just 4 points between them. Nobody else can challenge them. They're so far clear of the competition in the AM class. So it is all to play for, and it could come down to just who gets into the first turn in the race tomorrow that could sort the outcome of this championship. But there are so many other factors included. Don't forget, we mix it with some of the Pro-Ams. Even some of the Lamborghini Cup runners might be close to them. But we know the championship order has changed. The title battle has closed up even more. Still engine notes ringing out as we get to the Lamborghini Cup podium. And third place, car number 23, DL Racing's Francesco Turzo. Second place, Karim Oj, who clinched the Lamborghini Cup Championship this morning. But top step will be Luciano and Donovan Previtello, father and son team, full of enthusiasm. They love their Super Trofeo racing. Been doing it for a very long time. Top step of the podium.
Applauso al podio ed è il momento di cominciare la cerimonia. Cominciamo con il trofeo di bronzo e il dottor Maurizio.
So the applause rings out, and the ringing note you can hear in the background is the Asenza SCV12 shakedown, making a wonderful engine note as the final podium of the day is undertaking. Certainly Lamborghini pack every day they have at a track with plenty of wonderful noises and so much, and VIP rides and many other things to keep the guests very busy. The VIP guests are coming in droves this weekend, but certainly the first few days here, been plenty around enjoying the noise, the sights and the sounds of this meeting. And for all the drivers on the podium here today, they'll be hoping to do so in the final round of the European Championship, the 12th and final race tomorrow, Friday, here at Misano. The final photo of the Thursday pretty much being taken right now. Everyone looking very happy indeed with their life up on the podium. But the Viorba course and the Preftellios, they've moved forward a little bit in the championship, but still Karim Oj already got the job done. There's Karim on the left-hand side of the podium. Became champion by taking the point for pole position. Looks like they're about to gang up on the others, but they will have to do it again tomorrow. But you fight all season, and if you can win a championship, even before you got to the final race, it really takes the pressure off. And so for father and son Privitello, they've done it again, and to do it on home ground has been a good thing for the Viorba course team. And it's Karim Oj clinched the championship this morning. Donovan and Luciano moving to second place. Holger Harmsen now down in third. Well, he lost a bit of ground. He picked up problems in the race today, and Claude-Yves Gosselin falling to fourth as well. So the real game was the Privitellios, but Karim Oj second place today, built on the point from this morning, already was the championship winner in the Lamborghini Cup class for 2025. So tomorrow should just be a pleasure run for him, but if he could get the top step, he'll love it. And as the sun begins to set over the Misano circuit on the Adriatic coast, we're going to take a look back at the highlights of the penultimate race of the 2025 European season. It was absolutely shoulder to shoulder into the opening corner. A little bit of mistake. Enzo Guaracci from pole position outbraked himself, and Paul Levey came through. In behind, there were a few people gaining ground, a few people having contact, but the first 2-3 cars began to get away. If you can get around turns 4 and 5 on the opening lap, you're doing well without contact. Now, places were changing. The driving was very, very clean at the front. Not so clean at the back end of the grid. A little bit of contact there with Claude-Yves Gosselin getting damaged. So too Renaud Coppens, and that really helped hurt his championship chances in Pro-Am. And then Stefan Tribudini pressing on. In behind, it was nip and tuck, it was nose and tail. 4 classes to play for here. But up at the front end, this was the cars that were first and second. They came in nose to tail. Paul Levey ahead of Enzo Guaracci. How would it shake out in the remainder of the race? Drivers keeping it clean in the pit lane. I don't think anyone got pinged for being too slow or too fast in the pits. And then Igor Orytsev had contact and went off. But the story was Brendan Leach coming through, gold and black, into the lead of the race. But the driver he passed, Adam Patera, knew he could take the championship lead if he kept it clean, because the car in front was a guest car, wouldn't get any points. You want to win as a driver, but if you could take the championship lead going to the final race, you go, okay, I'll finish second. But here it is, sweeping through for the final time. Watched on by young Nick Stati as his teammate Brendan Leach came through to take a win, but he had a 5-second penalty hanging over him. Could the white and blue car in the background of Adam Patera keep it under 5 seconds? No, he couldn't. 6.3 seconds. It meant he finished second, but he took the championship scoop of points, takes the championship lead with just 1 race to run. There's Brendan Leach climbing out of car number 17. Nick Stati applauding him in the background, saying, well done, well done. But theirs was somewhat of a guest role. But for Adam Patera and his teammate Paul Levey, second place puts Adam Patera into the championship lead. But Nick Stati and Brendan Leach, the Aussie and the Kiwi, they've loved it all on the top step. So that's it from the Thursday here at Misano. We'll be back very early tomorrow morning. First race, 9:15. That's the North American Series. Do make sure you join us. My name's Bruce Jones. Been delighted to have Baptiste Moulin around with me this afternoon. See you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Thanks.